on this computer. So anyone have any homework questions for me for 7.4, which is due tonight? Homework questions for 7.4, which is due tonight. Anyone have any questions for that? Sorry.
Excuse me, I have a question. So is it you said it's not required the class today?
Yeah, Monday, for Monday, the October 25th, this coming Monday, there's no class.
Okay, October 25th. Okay.
Yeah, the coming
Sounds
Monday. Yep, this coming Monday, October 25th, there is no school actually. You don't need to come to school at all. So there's no non-Hanapan classes. You have no school for you guys because we have meetings. Teachers have the meetings. But if you want to use this Zoom to work your homework, or do your homework together, or do something, if you want to meet, and you can meet in this Zoom, okay, during 12 till 1:30. I still able to, you can still able to use it. I didn't shut this Zoom down. So if you want to meet to go over your homework, be my guest. Anyone have any questions on 7.4, which is due tonight? Okay. I also asking guys to prove the tangent one, right? Does anyone did the tangent one? I call you guys to prove that tangent 3, is that u? Is equals to, what is that? 3 tangent u. I know it's 1 over something. Anyone got this? Is that 3 tangent u minus, is it plus tangent u?
Yeah, it's 3 tangent u minus tangent cubed u.
Tangent cube u?
Yep.
And then
And
1
then minus 3 tangent squared u, I think.
Tangent square or tangent cube? Square?
Squared.
Okay.
Is it squared or is it?
Yeah, I'm wondering about that too. It was like,
I might have copied it down wrong.
Let me.
I think it's squared. I took a picture.
All
of it.
square.
It's squared.
Here comes the rain. Okay, let me see if we can open up this. This one is page 2, I believe. Nope, not page 2. This might be page 3. Yep, tangent square. Yep, I think this is tangent square or tangent cube. I think it's tangent square. Yep, that's correct. So it's tangent square. Yep. Anyone prove this? Again, class, I told you, right? It's in your task. So make sure you guys know how to prove this. It starts from the left-hand side. Anyone? So,
You start by splitting tangent 3u into tangent 2u plus u.
okay, yep, that is the good start. Continue, Damon.
And then you can plug it into the formula, which is tangent 2u plus tangent u over 1 minus tangent 2u times tangent u.
Okay, so this is the tangent u plus v that you guys we use in 7.4. So it's tangent 2u plus tangent u over by 1 minus tangent 2u tangent u. Yep, this is correct. Now we need to apply this section 7.5 for tangent 2u. So all this tangent 2u, you can apply it. This is a tangent 2u. What is the formula for that? So what can we apply for this tangent 2u?
That's the double angle formula.
And that gives you what?
So it'd be 2 tangent u over 1 minus tangent squared u plus tangent u on the top.
Yep. Tangent square u plus tangent u on
U.
top. Very good.
And then on the bottom, it's 1 minus 2 tangent u over tangent
Yep.
squared u times tangent u.
Yep. Yep, this is a lot to write. Yes. 2 tangent u. Very good. Is that Damon?
Mhm.
Yeah. Good. Very good. Times tangent u. Yep. So I just changing all the tangent to u to become the 2 tangent u over 1 minus tangent square u from the double angle formula. Now, this is the tough part. This is a lot of students having difficulty. At Damon, do you know what to do here next?
Yeah, it gives us a common denominator, so we can multiply both the top and the bottom by 1 minus tangent squared u.
You are correct. So because if you look at the denominator for the top one, this top one is 1 minus tangent square u, and the bottom one is also 1 minus tangent square u. So we will take this whole thing, multiply by 1 minus tangent square u. And same thing here. It's taking this whole thing and multiply by 1 minus tangent square u. Yes, we can do this. It's because if you look at this, we are multiplying with 1 because the top and the bottom is the same. And you guys know fraction. If you multiply anything with 1, you always get back the same thing. Okay, so what happens when you distribute this to this side? The 1 minus tangent square u will cancel with this 1 tangent minus tangent square u. So what we have in this case is 2 tangent u plus, and then what happens when you distribute to this? Then this tangent u has to be distributed into side. So you will get a tangent u minus tangent cube u. Okay, because tangent u times tangent square u is tangent cube u. I think this is a cube in there. And if you combine these like terms, this will become 3 tangent u minus tangent cube u. Yep, this is a cube. So my bad, this is a cube. And this is a cube. So can you guys change this? This is not square. This is a cube. No, this one is a square. Oh yeah,
I think the bottom one is a square and the top is a cube.
Yep. Thank you so much, Logan, for clarity. Yep, that is correct. Yep, the bottom one is square, the top one is a cube. Yep. So this is how we do the top one. Now we do the bottom one. So the bottom one, we do the same thing. We distribute. How many terms we have for this bottom one? Here we got 2 terms on the top, right? So we distribute this twice. How many terms you have on the bottom one?
Would it be 2?
You also 2. So you have to distribute this into here and this into here. This whole thing is considered 1 term. Okay. So when you distribute this over to 1, so 1 times this give us 1 minus tangent square u. And then when you distribute this to the last term here, the whole thing, again, the 1 minus tangent square u will cancel. So what you get here is a negative 2 tangent square u. Okay, because 2 tan u times tan u is 10 square u. Okay. And then these 2 terms are like terms, so you can combine it to become 1 minus 3 tangent square u. I think that is a 3 missing here. So this is how we prove. So the proving here is tangent 3u is 3 tangent u minus tangent cube u all over by 1 minus 3 tangent square u. This is the correct formula to prove. Yep. Yep, this is the correct one. This is how we do this question. Class, as I told you, right, in your test 2, you will get what? Either to prove tangent 3u or sine 3u or cosine 3u, right? You guys remember that one? Okay, we did the sine and cosine 3u on Monday class. I told you guys to prove this, so make sure you guys know how to do this. And it's exactly the same as what we just did here. Okay, so make sure you guys know how to do this. Anyone have any questions here before we continue? Okay, now I also want to point out to you guys that your formulas here is not always look from left hand side to right hand side. Your formula also can be applied from right hand side to the left hand side. So I just want to point out to you guys, it's go both direction. So a lot of time we go from left to right, right? Like tangent to you, we go from left to right. So sometimes we can go from right to left. So examples from those who go right to left will be like question number 5. I will come back with 3 and 4. So we're going to continue with this 5. Sometimes in your homework, mostly in your homework, they will tell you what formula to use. Sometimes I will also tell you what formula to use in your test. So make sure you guys know that if I call you to use double angle formula, make sure you use double angle formula. So if you look at this question number 5, they want you to use a double angle formula to prove, to figure out what is cosine 2 square x minus 1/2. What is this is? Okay. So if you look at your double angle formula, which is the one that we just did here. Now, this time, this question is going to call you guys to read from right to left. So can you tell me which formula, which double angle formula are we using for this case? Is that sine 2u, cosine 2u, tangent 2u? Which formula are we using? So if you read on if you read on the right hand side, so can you tell me which right hand side here gives us cosine squared x? There's only one that gives you cosine squared x. That formula is
Cosine 2u.
Yep, so this is cosine 2x is equals to what? 2 cosine
Cosine
squared
squared
minus 1, right?
1.
Now, if you look at this side is very similar to that side. The only difference here is that you have to do some multiplying or dividing. So its formulas is like equation. So if you multiply something on right side, make sure you do the same thing on the left side. So formula is like equation, so you balance it out. So how do you get cosine square x minus 1/2 looking at this side?
You take out 2.
So we divide 2. So
Yeah,
we
divide
divide
2.
this by 2. So if you divide this by 2, you get this. So we're going to divide, this is the equation. So if you divide the right side by 2, you also have to divide the left side by 2. So your answer in this case will be this one. Will be 1/2 times cosine 2x. Okay. If you do this in your online homework, make sure that the 2x or the 2u or the 3u that we have is in parentheses. So a lot of students, when they start putting this in your homework, if you don't put the 2 and the parentheses for the angles, the 2x or 3x or the 3u, they will mark you wrong. But for me in my test, I'm not picky. So the answer for this case is 1/2 of cosine 2x. You guys okay here? I want you guys to figure out what is 10 sine square x minus 5. Number 6. What is 10 sine square x minus 5? So make sure you guys have the formula. Again, we are using double angle formula. So just stick with this one. And again, look at the formula, and only one of these have sine square x. And don't say Pythagorean, because the question here do not want you to use Pythagorean identity. So some of you thinking about using Pythagorean identity, because the question calls to use a double angle formula, so you're fixed with this one. So anyone tell me what formula should we use here? Which one here has sine square x?
Cos 2u.
So it's cosine 2x is equals to what?
1 minus 2 sine squared u.
Very good. Or x in this case. Okay, yep, this is correct. So my question to you is, how can you change this into this? Last time we divide by 2 because you want to get rid. So how can you change the -2? Oh, let's forget the square, sorry. How can you change the -2 to become a +10?
Multiply by -5.
So you multiply this side by -5. Because if you take -5 times 1, you get -5. You take -5 times -2 sine square x, you get +10 sine square x. And like equation, if you multiply this side by -5, you also need to multiply this side by -5. So what is your answer in this case? Your answer will be what?
-5 cosine 2x.
Yep, this is your answer. You guys all right? So it's not that difficult, right? Again, in the test, I will ask you what kind of formula to use here. Questions? Right. Let's take a look at number 7 here. So question number 7 is given us tangent u is equals to -3/5. And it says that u in this case is between pi/2 and pi. The question here is asking us to find sine 2u using double angle formula, cosine 2u using double angle formula, and tangent 2u using double angle formulas. Okay. Again, these kind of questions will be coming up in your test too, but I only call you do one of this, either sine or cosine or tangent 2u. I cannot call you do all 3 of them. So my question to you is, can someone tell me what quadrant is this belongs to?
Would it be in the first quadrant?
Nope, this is not on the
Second.
first. This is on the second quadrant. So the reason why I want you guys to do know this is because you have to draw me the triangles. Do you guys remember what is the second triangle looks like in, because you had to apply SOHCAHTOA here. So second triangle looks like this. This one. Okay, and this is your u. Can someone apply tangent u -3/5 to these triangles using SOHCAHTOA?
So
What
the
is
adjacent would be 5.
I'm sorry?
Like the adjacent side would be 5.
Adjacent will be, so opposite will be
-3.
-3, and adjacent will be
5.
5. Is this correct? That is wrong. This is wrong. Can someone correct this?
3 and -5.
Thank you so much, Logan. That is correct. So make sure because when you guys have are quadrant 2, your x value is negative, your y value is positive. Okay. And now we have to find your hypotenuse. Class, is your hypotenuse gonna be 4? Remember the shortcut 3, 4, 5,
No.
right?
No.
Can you do
It's
use
not going to be 4.
Yes, this is something you guys did in my test, right? Some of you give 4 in here. This is not 4. Your hypotenuse is longer than 5. That's the longest one. So how do you figure out your hypotenuse? Pythagorean theorem, right? So go ahead. I want you guys to figure out what is the hypotenuse here.
Square root of 34.
Yep. So it's 3 squared plus -5 squared, right? So that gives us the square root of 34, and then you take a square root of it. Okay. So so once you get this, we got tangent u. Can someone use this to figure out sine u and cosine? You do not need to rationalize this. You guys remember last time I want you to rationalize, you do not need to rationalize this. Go ahead, use this triangle to figure out your SOHCAHTOA. What is sine u and what is cosine? Okay, anyone sine u?
3 over root 34.
Okay, very good. Cosine u?
-5 over root 34.
Very good. You guys okay here? So now, once you get this, you will refer this to do the double angle for sine, cosine, sine and cosine and tangent. So sine 2u, if you look at the double angle formula, it says it's 2 sine u cosine u. You can replace now. Can someone tell me what is sine u and cosine u replaced to?
Sine u would be 3 over root 34. And then cosine u would be -5 over root 34.
Thank you. You guys all right here? Okay, so with this other one. So that's why I want you guys to do this part first. This one, then you apply it over here. So not 35, it's 34. My bad. So what we're gonna do here is, because this 2 is over 1. So do you guys know how to multiply fractions? Because they're all multiply fractions. Do you need to find LCD here, class? You don't. Okay. So you just multiply straight across. So you just multiply 2 times 3 times -5. Don't distribute. So multiply. Take out your calculator. Take times 2 times 3 times -5, and you get. You will get -30. 6 times 5 is 30. Now, do you guys remember what happens when you multiply root 34 with root 34?
You get 34.
You get 34, yep. That's the reason why I do not want you guys to rationalize this denominator. It's because when you multiply them, they will kind of, the root will cancel each other out. Can someone reduce this fraction for me? And that's your answer.
-15 over 17.
Okay, good. So this is how we do question sine 2u. Okay, you use the formula, you use this picture. Now I want you guys, I'm gonna put you guys in group now. I want you guys to figure out how you do cosine 2u and tangent 2u. And don't forget, we got formulas for cosine 2u and tangent 2u. How many formulas do we have for cosine 2u?
3.
You got 3. So my question is, if you use this one or the middle one or the last one, you think you still get the same answer for all 3 of them? The answer is yes. You will still get the same answer no matter which one you pick. Okay. Tangent 2u, you only got 1 choices. So go ahead, copy this down, because I want to put you guys in groups now. So I want you guys to find what is cosine 2u is and what is tangent 2u is, using this formula, okay, and this this triangles that we just did. Okay, you guys copy it down. I'm gonna stop sharing here, and I am gonna put you guys in groups now. Put you guys in 4 groups. There you go. All right, go to your groups. Zoe, Said. Said. Anyone knows what to do with here?
Yeah, I think I got answers.
You got it?
Yeah.
Do you share it to the rest of the class?
Uh, no.
No. So Nick, you want to start talking to them? Logan,
Uh,
Brent, Kate?
for cos 2u, is it okay if I use 1 minus 2 sine 2u?
Sure.
Okay, that's what I used.
Yep.
And
Go
I
talk to the,
plugged
yep.
in,
Talk to the rest of the group.
and I plugged in cos, and then
You guys got this?
I'm having a little bit of trouble on the tangent one, but I think I got cosine.
Okay, so the tangent one, you use the -3/5.
-3/5, that's what I have wrong. Thank you.
Yep, because it's given to us tangent u is -3/5. Kyle, Jack, you go.
I'm working on the tangent one right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm also working on a tangent.
Okay, good. I'll be
I
back.
am still working on the cosine one.
Okay, someone help Jack. Damon, Yuko, Kyle. I'll be back. Anyone questions for me? You guys got the tangent and the cosine to you? You guys can hear me. Adrian, Natalie, Zoe.
I got the
Sai?
cosine, but I'm still working on the tangent.
I'm working on the tangent one right now too.
Okay, good. Good.
Me as well.
So everyone's working on a tangent.
Yeah,
Guys, share what you get for the cosine to you.
I got 8/17.
Okay, Adrian said 8/17. Don't ask me, I do not know.
I got 8/17.
I got
also.
that one.
So if 3 of you get the same answer, means it's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go up for the tangent one. I'll be back. Anyone with this group?
I got 3/2
On which one?
on 2 tan u over 1 minus 2 tan squared.
Okay. Is that Danny? Jakub, how about you? How about you guys? Hmm?
I'm a little bit confused on it.
Well, the tangent u is -3/5. Is that what you're confused about? Is tangent to u
Um,
or cos to u?
like cosine to you.
You're gonna pick one of the formulas.
Well, actually, I forgot to square the denominator. So I think I actually got it wrong.
But you guys got for cosine to u. Is that what you guys talking about? Is cosine?
Oh no, I was talking about tangent.
Oh,
to u.
tangent.
Yeah,
you need to
I
square
forgot
it.
to square root. Yeah.
You need to square it, not square root, but
Okay.
square it.
Oh no, yes, square root. Yeah.
Yep. I'll be back. Do you guys did cosine to u?
Yeah, we got both.
What's cosine to u? Anyone? You guys got?
Oh, 8/17.
Okay.
And then tan 2u is 32/35.
I didn't know that one. I need to do it myself, and then we'll do it together.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone agree with that? With these two answers?
I got a different answer for tan 2u.
And what do you got, Kate?
I got -15/8.
Ooh. Okay. So you guys have to talk about yourself among Nick and Kate. The tangent is always a tricky one. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Just double check with your fractions. I think I teach you guys how to use your calculator for fractions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use your calculator for tangent to u because it's all fractions.
Wait, I might have forgot to carry a negative somewhere.
Yeah, watch out for your negative. You're correct. Okay. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna. All right. We'll wait for you guys to come back here before we figure out what is your Tangent to u is a fraction one. Make sure you guys use your calculator to perform your fraction ones. Cosine to u, as I mentioned about cosine, they got 3 formulas. Which group are you guys using? Anyone use the first ones, cosine square u minus sine square u? Anyone use this one?
Yeah.
Damon use that one. What do you get when you apply this on your cosine and sine when you square this and subtract it?
So when you go through all that, you should get 8/17.
Okay, you
Which-
get 8 over 7. Yep, this is correct. 8/17 is correct. But you have to reduce it, right? Anyone using the 2 cosine square u minus 1? Anyone use this one? Any group?
I use that one.
Do you got 8/17 also?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So again, class, as I mentioned in the test, you can pick any one you want. It doesn't matter which one you do. Okay. Okay, you're fine, and Sanders. And anyone use the last one, the 1 minus 2 sine square u? And you should also get 8/17. Again, class, no matter which one you pick, your answer is still going to be 8/17. So this is something so in the test, you just pick one. Okay. Now, tangent to u, this is the one that a lot of students having difficulties is we're going to apply this formula to tangent u, 1 minus tangent square u. Please don't use Pythagorean identity here. Okay. So we're not proving. So tangent u is given us by -3/5. So we will replace all the tangent u by 3/5. So 1 minus 3/, negative, sorry, forget the negative. -3/5 squared. So first thing first, we do the top. So what is 2 times -3/5?
-6/5.
Okay. Now take out your calculator and figure out what is 1 minus parentheses. Now this negative is not important for us because you guys know what happens when you square it, right? It becomes what? Positive, right? So take out your calculator and figure out what is 1 minus 3/5 squared. If you want to put a negative in there, be my guest, your answer is going to be the same. Use the ABC button or the fraction button. Anyone got this in your calculator?
16/25.
Okay, that is correct. Now, you can also use your calculator to perform this, where you take -6ABC5 divided by 16ABC25. Yes, you can use this in your calculator. Again, this is 16. Sorry for my bad handwriting here. It's very difficult to write on these things. This is 16. Anyone got an answer here?
-15/8.
I'm going to check. You guys good with this? Chris class, make sure tangent is full with fractions, so make sure you use your calculator to perform this, and your calculator have the ABC button that you guys can use. Yep, -15/8. This is correct. Questions? Anyone questions? Now we're going to go on to number 9. So question number 9 is asking us to use the power reducing formulas to rewrite tangent square 2x cosine 4 2x in the terms of cosine. Okay, so just in terms of cosine, so what do we do in here is you have to refer to the power reducing formulas. So the power reducing formula is the one right below the double angle formula, which is this fellow. This is a power reducing formulas here. But first thing first is before you even apply the power reducing formulas, we can actually reduce this. Okay. The reason why I say you can reduce this is because tangent is what over what if you use your quotient identity.
Sine over cosine.
So this is sine squared 2x over by cosine squared 2x. And what happens when you multiply this with the cosine 4x, 2x? Can we cancel something?
Can you cancel the 4 into 2?
So this become 2. So this is actually is sine squared 2x times with cosine squared 2x. So this is what, but this question want us all in terms of cosine. So what do we do here is you have to use the power reducing, which is the formula over here. Now, if you look at this power reducing, this is sine 2u, right? So, so this will be written down as 1 minus cosine something over 2. Now, you cannot write this as 2x because this is 2u. The reason why is because the 2, if you initially here is 2, then what happens? Your u is 2x. What happens to your 2u become?
Would it become 4?
Yes, because don't forget your u in this case is 2x. So if you substitute u to become 2x, that will become 4x. Can someone tell me what is the power reducing for cosine squared 2x?
Would it be 1 plus cosine 4u over 2?
Again, we use x. Okay, so this is using the power reducing formulas here. So now what we need to do is we just need to FOIL it out or multiply. Now 2 times 2 in this case is 4, right? And when you FOIL this one out, what is 1 minus cosine 4x times 1 plus cosine 4x? What happens when you FOIL this out? 1 times 1 is 1. Do you know what happens when you FOIL in the middle term here?
They cancel each other out.
Cancel
So it's
each other
just
out. Just what?
so it'd be 1 minus cosine squared 4x.
Yep. Now, however, this is correct, David. So it's 1 minus cosine squared 4x. However, you just want to write this in terms of cosine. That means this cosine is power 1. If you look at this, we have a problem here. The problem is this fellow. It's because he has power 2. So what happened is you have to use the power reducing formula again. The reason why is because it has power 1. So if you refer to the power reducing formula for cosine squared 4x, what is the power reducing formula in this case? What is u in this case?
Would it be 8x?
Yes, that is correct because our u in this case is 4x. So when you double this, it becomes 8x. Okay. So so we need to simplify this. So how do we simplify this? Is again the denominator. So the denominator here is 2. So I will multiply this whole thing by 2. Because your denominator is 2. And if you multiply the top one by 2, you also have to multiply the bottom one by 2 because it's equals to 1. So this 2 will distribute to him. So you will get 2. This 2 and 2 will cancel. So what you get is, don't forget, this negative has to distribute. So you get -1 minus cosine 8x over by 8, because 4 times 2 is 8. And then the last thing you need to do is reduce, combine like terms. So 2 take away 1 is 1. So your answer in this case is 1 minus cosine 8x over 8. So this is your answer here. So when they usually, when is the power reducing formula wants you to do is, if you see any powers, they want you to write these all powers into power 1. That is the meaning of power reducing. And this question wants us to write this in terms of cosine. So that's why if you look at this, you got in terms of cosine. And you can also figure out when you look at your power reducing, what do you see? Everything is in terms of what? Cosine. So we don't write this in terms of sine, because your power reducing is all cosine here. You guys okay here? Questions with this? This is tough. Okay. All right, next, this is how we use the power reducing formula. So the next one we're gonna do is using half angle formula. Okay, now when you guys use the half angle formula, you have to be careful. So this is very important. If you use half angle, you need to be careful about your quadrants for the u over 2. Okay, so you have to divide that by 2. So so in order for us to, you have to find sine of this. So you have to find sine of 67.5 degrees. Don't forget, this 30 seconds is half of an hour. So that's what, half of a degree. So you have to find 67.5. So you need to write this in terms of half. So what you need to do is you need to find what is u in this case. So we will make them equal. So you take this, u over 2 is equal to 67.5. So you take the half angle equals to this, solve for u, so you multiply 2 on both sides. Anyone has a calculator to help me? What is u in this case?
$135.
135. Yep. So this is actually the same thing as sine 135 divided by 2. Because when you divide by 2, you get 67.5 in this case. Now, can someone tell me, is this 67.5, what quadrant it belongs to? What quadrant it belongs to?
Quadrant
Maybe
1.
quadrant 1.
This is quadrant 1, right? And what happens to quadrant 1 for sine, cosine, and tangent?
They're all positive.
They're all positive, right? So in this case, when you look at this, when you apply half angle formula to this fellow, this is a half angle formula. If you look at the sine and cosine, you see what? You see there are plus and minuses, right? For sine and cosine, which one should we take here? Plus or minuses?
Would it be plus?
We will just take plus, and the reason why is because it's in quadrant 1. Okay, and the formula says is 1 for sine, which is this fellow, 1 minus cosine u over 2. Now, can someone tell me what is u in this case? You just solved it early on. U is what?
135.
135. Now you need to use your unit circle and tell me what is cosine 135 degrees.
Is it negative root 2 over 2?
Very good. You caught that is correct. It is negative, it's 45 degrees. So cosine and tangent is root 2 over 2, but 135 is in quadrant 2, is negative. So now you apply that over here. So this answer will be square root of 1 minus root 2 over 2 because that's your cosine 135, with a negative over 2. Okay, you guys know what happens when you have double negative, right? What happens when you, So in this case, I'm gonna change this to become positive because you got double negative. This is the same thing what we just did just now because of the 2 here. So I will multiply both of them by 2. What do you get? This is over 4. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 2 and 2 will cancel out here. You get what? Square root of 2. So this is your answer for sine 67.5 degrees. Okay. Now the question also wants you to find what? The cosine of this. Now, in order for you to find the cosine of this, if you look at your half angle formula, what is the only difference if you look at this these 2 formulas? One of them is minus, and the other one is what? Plus. So that means that it is the conjugate. Remember conjugate? 1 minus 1 plus. So if you find your sine u over 2 is this answer, can you tell me what is the conjugate of this answer?
Would it be the same thing but negative?
Yes. So this answer will be square root of 2 minus root 2 over 4. And because in quadrant 1, cosine is what? Also positive. So this is your answer for cosine. So this is something I want to tell you. If you find the sine, is this fellow? Cosine, you do not do any work. You just do the conjugate. You guys all right here? It's always worked that way. Okay. Now, in order for us to find the tangent, can someone tell me tangent is what over what?
Y over x.
In terms of cosine and sine?
Oh, sine over cosine.
So it's sine over cosine of, and we already know the sine of 67.5, right? Which is the one in orange. Square root of 2 plus root 2 over 4. Divided by, what is the cosine 67.5 degrees, which is the one, the conjugate, right? Which is 2 minus root 2 over 4. So what we can do with the 4, because they are all the same, so you can cancel it out because the denominator is the same. So you can put this whole thing in one big square root. The one on top is 2 plus root 2. And the one on the bottom is 2 minus root 2. And this is your answer for tangent. So yes, you need to spend some time to find one of this, the sine, but the cosine and tangent is very straightforward after that. So this is how we do question number 10 in this case. Anyone have any questions for me here with number 10? Anyone? All right. Now we do 11. So these kind of questions also will be in your test, like 11 and 10. So this is the one that we're going to do a little bit. So I want you guys to go in your groups. You have to use the half angle formula here. But first thing first, I want you guys to draw me a picture for this cotangent u equals to 3. And u in this case is between 3 pi over 2, pi and 3 pi over 2. So first tell me what quadrant is this belongs to. And then draw me the picture, the triangle. And then apply SOHCAHTOA here. And then once you apply SOHCAHTOA, I want you guys to figure out what is cosine u. We just need to figure out cosine u in this case. The reason why we don't need to find sine u tangent, sine, cosine, tangent, we just need cosine, is because if you look at your half angle formula, all your half angle formula is all just based on what? Oh, we need sine too, sorry. We need cosine and we also need sine. Okay. And we don't need tangent because your formula is either using cosine or sine. So mostly cosine is the one I recommend cosine in this case. Okay. So I want you guys to put you back in the same group. I want you guys to figure out what quadrant is this belongs to, this u. And then draw me a picture of this based on this and use SOHCAHTOA. And then figure out what is the sine and cosine u in this case. Okay, you guys do this. You guys written down this? You guys gonna start doing this. Danny, Dosa, Syed, Anders. Dosa, Syed.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Go to your group, Syed. Right, please join your group now.
Can you send me again that one? I lost it.
I'm going to move you to room 2 and then I'm going to move you back to room 1. Do you got it? Yep. I'll move you back to room 2. Sorry. Can you join room 2, Syed?
Yes, please. Yep. I don't know. There is a problem. It doesn't want to make me to put it.
Can you join now?
Yep. Yep. Right now.
Yep. Go ahead. Does anyone know what quadrant is this belongs to? The U?
3.
3.
Good. Do you guys know what triangles quadrant 3 looks like?
Yeah, it's the reflection of quadrant 2.
Very good. Yes. Can you go ahead and apply SOHCAHTOA on that for cotangent u equals to 3?
Yeah.
And then
Is the hypotenuse
This is
gonna
3
be
over 1.
3?
No.
No.
Cotangent is what over what?
Cotangent is cos over sine.
In SOHCAHTOA.
Cotangent.
Adjacent over opposite.
That's correct. This is your adjacent and this is your opposite. So that's not your you had to figure out your hypotenuse on your own.
I know, that's what I said. Is my hypotenuse 3?
No.
No?
A squared plus B squared.
I was doing the math quickly in my head.
No, do not do it in your head. Class, please do not do this in your head. If your head can do this, I will say good for you, but you're not in that level yet. I can tell you that.
Oh, it's a plus. I forgot about the plus.
It's a plus, not a minus. Yes, a squared plus b squared. Please do not do it in your head, okay?
So is it square root
You guys do
10.
it. You guys go ahead and do it. I'm not gonna help you. That's in your test. No one's gonna help you, right? So try to do it on your own and talk among your friends here if you get the same answer. Mhm. I'll be back. Anyone know what quadrant is this belongs to?
Third.
3.
Third.
3.
Okay. What is your? Give me a sec. Someone knock on my door. I'll be right back. Sorry, it's the Amazon guy. And what is the triangles looks like? If it's quadrant 3, that is correct.
So for angle U, the adjacent would be -3, and the opposite would be -1, and the hypotenuse is √8.
Root what?
8.
No, not
Because
8.
3 squared plus 1 squared.
Anyone
Right,
help?
plus, so it'd be 10. It'd be √10.
Root 10, that is correct, right? And then find the
Yep.
sine and the cosine U for that case.
Yep.
You guys good with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jack, Cal? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want you to do that first. Yep.
Yep.
And I'll be right back. You guys know what quadrant is this U belongs to? Anyone of you?
Quadrant 3.
Quadrant 3, very good, Adrian. And what is the triangle looks like in quadrant 3?
Upside down.
Or upside down. It looks like number 2, the one we just draw, but it's been flipped downwards. Okay. And what, did anyone figure out what is your cotangent is what over what?
Cosine over sine.
But in SOHCAHTOA, cotangent is hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. Which one is what? Cotangent.
Adjacent over opposite.
Mhm. So apply that to the triangles. So what is missing is your hypotenuse. So you have to figure out your hypotenuse here using Pythagorean theorem.
Okay.
Then apply sine, cosine, applying sine, cosine on that case.
All right.
Yep, I'll be back. You guys figure out what quadrant is U belongs to?
Quadrant 3.
Quadrant 3. And what is a triangle quadrant 3 looks like?
Would it be the adjacent side would be -3, and then
Mhm.
the opposite would be -1, and then the hypotenuse would be square root of 10.
Root of 10. Yeah, that's correct.
Yep.
And then you use that to figure out sine and cosine U. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You guys okay? Mario, Kadia too, Dosia.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Make sure you guys know how to do this because I will ask you in test 2.
And then now, do we use the double angle formula or the half angle formula?
Half angle. I will show it later on. Mhm.
Okay.
All right. You got one. All right. So a lot of you get this one right. This is quadrant 3. This is a triangle we will use for quadrant 3. So this is a triangle. So I'm still waiting for someone else. So, sorry, I have to figure out what is the question asking for. Yep. Yep, sine, okay. So, so this is quadrant 3. The quadrant 3 triangle looks like this one. And cotangent is actually adjacent over opposite, not sine, not cosine, not cosine over sine, because we don't use that when we talk about triangles. Okay, so that means that your adjacent is 3 and your opposite is 1. Is this correct?
Yeah.
This is wrong. Anyone know why this is wrong?
Since
Oh, it
it's
should be
in quadrant
-3.
3, it would be -3 and -1.
You are correct. So in quadrant 3, both x and y value or adjacent opposite has to be in negative. So what is your hypotenuse in this case? Is this square plus this square. So you get what? 3, 9. 9 plus 1 is what? 10. So again, do not rationalize this, just leave it as square root. So can someone tell me what is cosine u in this case?
-3 over root 10.
And what is sine u in this case?
-1 over root 10.
Okay, good. So again, this is very important. Okay. The question now is asking us to figure out what is sine u over 2. Okay. Now, remember last time when we figure out u over 2, you had to figure out what quadrant, and we know 67.5 is quadrant 1. So now we have to figure out what quadrant is this u over 2, because for sine, right? Remember, all students takes calculus, right? Sine is positive in quadrant 1 and 2, right? Cosine is positive in 1 and 4, and tangent is 1 and 3. So you have to watch out what quadrant it belongs to. So how do you figure out this quadrant here is you take this inequality and we divide this by 2. So when you divide this by 2, you will get u over 2 here. So this is between pi over 2 and can someone do what is 3 pi over 2 divided by 2? What is this?
Divide 2 pi divided by 4.
3 pi over 4. Now, can you tell me what quadrant is this u over 2 belongs to? It's pi over 2 to 3 pi over 4. That is quadrant 2. And quadrant 2, this is quadrant 2. What is positive in quadrant 2?
Sine.
Sine, right? Now we're going to apply this, your formulas. So sine u over 2 is going to be 1 minus cosine u over 2. So what we need to do in this case is this one, we will pick the plus sign. The reason why is because it is quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 sine is positive. Can someone tell me what is cosine u over 2 from this triangle from here?
-3 over square root of 10.
So it's 1 minus, because that is a negative, this will become what?
Positive.
Positive. 3 over 10 over 2. And like usual, we need to get rid of this root 10. So what do? Is I multiply this by root 10. Yes, you can multiply by any number, root 10 including. And you multiply this by root 10. So don't forget the square root, also just forget the square root. The bottom part, you will get 2 root 10. Okay. The top part, when you distribute root 10, what do you get? you will get root 10 plus 3. So this is sine u over 2. You guys all right?
Right. So the original, so did the root 2 with the root 2 cancel out, and then we got the other root 2 from times 1 inside of the square root?
No, I multiply by root 10. So root 10 times 1 is root 10. Root 10 times 3 root 10, it will cancel with this root 10. So I just get 3. This one, you just multiply, become 2 root 10.
Okay.
So this is the sine u over 2. How do you find your cosine u over 2? Remember, we talked about this early on. If you know sine, how do you find your cosine? Anyone remember?
Conjugate.
Conjugate. So what's the cosine u over 2 in this case? Root 10 minus 3 over by 2 root 10. Now this is wrong. If you put this in your answer, it will be wrong. Why this is wrong? Anyone? Yep, just wondering why this is wrong. The reason why this is wrong is because.
Is it because of 3? Oh,
no,
is it because the 3 was negative or no?
No, because of a quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 cosine is what? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Yes. So that is the reason why this is wrong. Is because the sign is negative for him, because quadrant 2 cosine is negative. So be careful with the sign here. Because quadrant 1, everything is positive. We do not need to worry about it. But quadrant 2, only sine is positive, rest is negative. How do we figure out tangent? You take what? Sine over cosine, right? So you take this over this. So when you take this over this, these two will cancel. You still have a negative because positive divided by negative is negative. So the top one you left is a root 10 plus 3. And the bottom one in this case is a root 10 minus 3. So you kind of notice that when you do your tangent, the tangent is actually taking this over this in the square root. And the reason why we take negative is because, again, quadrant 2, tangent is negative. So this is your answer for sine, cosine, tangent. Questions for me? Anyone have any questions? We'll do one more because we have to do the sum to product and product to sum. So this one is not too difficult. Okay. So the last two formulas is called a sum to product and product to sum. And yes, in the question, usually I will call you to use that formula. So, so this is a sum to product, a product to sum, and this is sum to product. So let's do 13 and 14. So question number 13 is using PTS, which is a short form for product to sum. It's asking us to figure out 7 cosine 5 negative 5 beta sine 3 beta. I'll just put that in parentheses so we can see this. So so this is question number 13 here. So if you look at your PTS, which is called the product to sum formula, there are 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. So which one of these is correspond to him? Is that number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4?
Number 4.
It will be number 4. So cosine and sine. So what is your U and what is your V in this case? Your U will be negative 5 beta, and my V in this case is 3 beta. What happens to this 7? Remains the same. So this 7, you do not need to do anything with it until later on. So we're gonna apply the PTS to this one. So if you look at this side, you say it's 1/2 times sine u plus v minus sine u minus v. So I want you guys, we will apply this, the u and the v inside here. So you add, u plus v means you add. So I want you guys to add these two up. What do you get when you add these two up? How many betas?
-2.
-2 beta, yep. And this one call you to subtract. So I want you guys to subtract these two or minus these two. What do you get?
-8.
Now this is where you came out with the even odd identity. So if you remember your even odd identity, this is the PTS usually or STP needs this. What happens when your cosine or the secant, which is the reciprocal of cosine, what happens if your angle is a negative angle? Is this negative pull up front or do they disappear? Anyone remember even odd? For cosine and secant, this negative will what? Disappear.
Disappear.
Yep. So you doesn't have, so you don't need to pull up. But what happens when it's for sine, tangent, cosecant, cotangent? What happens if you have a negative angle? This negative angle has to be what? Pull out, right?
Negative.
Yep, will be negative of this one, right? So now we have this sine here. So what happens to this negative angle? Is that disappeared or you have to move it up front? You have to move it up front because sine is what we call as odd. So this negative angle will move up front here. This negative angle will move up front. But what happens when this fellow move up front? It becomes a plus. So now we multiply this. So you get 7/2 minus sine 2 beta, because the answer is positive now, plus sine 8 beta. So this is your answer in this case. Very short. The only thing you need to watch out is use the PTS and then use the even odd identity that you guys learned from here. Okay. Questions for this? So this is actually very straightforward type and is, so you have to use it. The last one is number 14, is where we will do STP, which is called the sum to product. The question is asking us to figure out cosine 6x plus cosine 2x. So you need to use the sum to product to write this in the product form. Product means multiply. So if you look at your formula of STP, sum to product, you also have 4 of them. These are the 4 STP formulas. So which formula apply to him? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Third.
It'll be third because it's a plus. And what is your UV in this case? U will be 6x, V will be 2x. So if you use your sum to product, the formula says 2 times cosine U plus V over 2 cosine times with cosine U minus V over 2. So this is called a sum to product. And what you need to do here is you just need to take the U and V, add them up, and divide it by 2. So can someone tell me what happens when you add U and V up and divide it by 2? What do you get?
4x.
4x, yeah. And for this one, you just need to take the UNV, subtract them up, and then divide it by 2. What do you get?
Two X.
Okay. Is this angle positive or negative? They are positive because 4x and 2x are positive. So you do not need to apply the even odd function. So your answer in this case is 2 cosine 4x cosine 2x. That's it. Okay. If these are negative angles, the 4x and 2x are negative 4x and 2x or negative 2x like what we have over here, then you have to apply your even odd. So we want this angle always to be positive. Okay. So that's the reason why that we have to apply the even odd identity. So this is the answer for number 14 here. Very the sum to product and product to sum is very easy and it's very straightforward. Make sure you guys know this is your U and this is your V. The common mistake students make mistake is to pick the wrong formula. So make sure you guys pick the correct formula because there are 4 for each one. So make sure you compare them really, really carefully because if you write the wrong formulas, everything here is going to be wrong. Okay. Anyone have any questions for me here? I'm going to do one more proving because since we've got a little bit more time left here. So we're going to do one more, which is the proving part. We didn't do any proving here. So we will do a proving and that is the last few ones left. Yep. The proving is the last few ones. As you guys know that proving doesn't tell you anything. So you have to, they don't tell you what formula to use. Okay. So that is the bad thing about proving. But you have to look carefully. What is that? What we have? Is that a double? Is that power reducing? Is that half? Is that STP or PATS? Okay. So if you look at number 16, can you tell me what do you see in your angles? Do you see double? Do you see power reducing? Do you see half? Do you see PTS, STP? Anyone on number 16?
Half angles.
Okay, so in this case, this is a half angle. So we start from the left-hand side and we're gonna use half angle formula. Okay, and if you use the half for tangent, so if you look at the tangent half angle formula, you got 2 of them. Okay. You got 2 of this. Which one should we use? We got 2 of this. Which one should we use? Which one I always tell you guys to use? The first one or the second? I always tell you to use the first one, right? And why we can use this first one is because your denominator is a monomial, one term. You can split this into 2. So what happens in this case is this is actually 1 over sine u minus cosine u over sine. So this you can split into half. Now we can use your identity. So yes, our identity is still used. Can someone tell me what is 1 over sine is?
Cosecant u.
This is cosecant u. And what is cosine over sine? This is tangent. And this is the same thing as your right hand side. Pretty easy, hey? So the proving here is not as difficult as the proving that you guys did before. The reason why is because you just need to figure out where do we start at. So we start in this case, are you looking for double or half angles or addition, subtraction? Okay. 17, this is a long proof also. This is the last one. Cosine pi over 3. Don't forget, we don't have class on Monday. So please, your homework for next Wednesday is 7.5. You've got 1 section due next Wednesday. and I will post some videos for you guys to watch. So we're gonna finish this last question here. Okay. Now, what we do here is, if you look at number 17 here, this is considered not half angle. It's not a double, because there's no double. It's not power reducing. Power reducing means you got power squaring. Okay. What do you see here is addition. So this is actually is STP. That means you want to change the sum to become product. And the one inside your parenthesis here is your U. And the one parenthesis here is your V. Remember the STP? So now we're gonna bring out the formula for STP. You got 4 of them, right? Remember, you got 4 sum to product formula, which is this one. So which one are we picking for number 17 here? You got cosine plus cosine.
Would it be the third one?
So it's the left-hand side again. So it's gonna be the left one. So in this case, we're gonna use STP. And the left one says 2 cosine U plus V over 2 times cosine U minus V over 2. So what you need to do, class, is this is your U, this is your V. So first thing you need to do, class, is you have to perform this. Add this up and divide it by 2, what you get. So when you add this up, what happens to your x's?
They cancel.
So you get how many? So the x's cancel when you add.
And then you get 2 pi over 3.
And don't forget, you have to divide this by 2. Anyone know what happens when you divide this by 2?
Is it 2 pi over 6?
Which is reduced to become what? That's correct. 2 pi over 6, which is the same as what? Pi over
3.
3, right?
Yeah.
Now the next one is we have to subtract. So take this 2 and subtract it and divide it by 2. Now when you subtract this, you get pi over 3 plus x minus what? Pi over 3 minus x. Is this correct? When you subtract this. So this is one of the mistakes that students do, which is wrong. This should be not minus, this should be what? Plus. Does anyone know why this is a plus x at the end here, not minus?
Quadrant.
Don't forget, when you subtract, you have to subtract the whole thing. And when you subtract the whole thing, you distribute the negative. And what happens when you distribute your negative?
Comes a positive.
Yep. And what cancel out here? Not your x, but your what? Your pi over 3. So what you have in this case is 2x over x, which in this case is what? Over 2, sorry, over 2. So the 2 cancel out. This means you get x. So this will get x. Now, can someone figure out using the unit circle what is cosine pi over 3 is? Unit circles, anyone? What is pi, cosine pi over 3?
Is it 1/2?
It's 1/2, yes. And then what happens to 1/2 and 2 when you multiply?
The two cancel.
So what you get is just what?
One. Or,
One
yeah, cosine.
cosine x. So 1 times cosine x, which is cosine x, which is the same as your what? Your right hand side. Okay, which is what we have. So this is how we prove. So the proving is not difficult as what you guys encounter. The only bad thing about proving here is they don't tell you what formula to use. So picking the correct formula, is it double, half, reduce, power reducing, STP, PTS, you have to really watch out for that. So this is the end for today's class. So your online homework for tonight is 7.4 due. Your online homework due on 7.5 is due on next Wednesday. And don't forget, we do not have class on Monday. Okay, no class on Monday. I will give you something to watch on Monday. It is chapter 8.1. Okay. If you take your geometry class in high school, when you talk about side, angle, side, SAS, side, SSS, all those labeling triangles, you need to know that, how to label it. And so that is very basic. It's going to be like 10 minutes long video. So make sure you watch that because when you come back to school on Wednesday, next Wednesday, I'm not going to teach you how to do the SAS, figure out SAS, SSS, and auto labeling. So make sure you guys watch this 5-10 minutes video. It's a very short video. So watch it and then maybe practice a little bit by yourself. How do you practice it? You can go to D2L and get my chapter 8 notes. Okay. And so this is where the SAS and ASS came up. And you just need to look at this and draw me a triangle. Okay, so your homework for Monday, although we don't have Wednesday, we have no school. I want you guys to draw the triangles for number 1 and number 2. Okay, if you stuck, go to D2L. There should be a key to this. So make sure you know how to draw this because a lot of students who draw this wrongly, you get everything wrong. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just draw me the triangles and label them. Label them correctly. And I will show to you how that's a video and I'll teach you how to do that. Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions?